Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today we're gonna quickly check the new video for the limited set for Francis. But before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share and subscribe if you enjoy the content. So basically we're just going to analyze the effect of both the supporter and the weapon. So as we already know, this is the limited set. We already see the image, Wild West Gambler pack. So this one, oh god, it is a little bit unfortunate what happened with this one, and I'll explain it in a moment. But first, let's read the description for both the weapon and the supporter. So this is the skin, as you can see. You can take off the hat and revolving bat. Okay, so revolving bat says gets tipsy after using a skill. Duration of intoxicate is extended by 5 seconds. Basic attacks while intoxicated have a 100% chance to deal 300% of damage. This is horrible because it is good. This is the fix that we needed to the skill. This part, get tipsy after using a skill, should be on the leader skill, not on a weapon. The other effect is fine. It is balance and whatever. But this basically locks you into this weapon if you want to use the passive. That's the issue I have with this weapon. Gremory shouldn't have done that. I hope that on the rework they give tipsy to some skills. If Francis has, I don't know, maybe 3 skills with tipsy, maybe that's more than enough. But god, is this a bad decision? I mean, they want to force us to buy the weapon as usual. That's the intention of these weapons. But honestly, they can just do, they can balance this properly and offer something that is still broken but it doesn't fix a character. They could do that and people will get the weapon. I don't know why Grammar insists on doing this, but okay. So we have the weapon. It is pretty good and it's going to allow you to abuse, and I mean abuse, intoxicate. The increased duration and the damage increase is going to be amazing. And basically Francis become a very self-sufficient tank, damage dealer, and it also heals herself. Remember that you get 2% HP for each stack of tipsy, so Francis is going to be very strong when you use this weapon, guys, so be prepared. Then we have the supporter, Wild West Francis. What about Wild West Francis? So first, the main passive. It says increases damage dealt with melee attacks by 40%, increases speed by 4% for 8 seconds up to 2 stacks, activates every 3 seconds. So basically you're gonna get damage increase for melee attacks. That's a very nice number. When we hit the 40% mark, it is good for damage dealers. It is restrictive. You cannot use it on any character. It has to be a melee damage dealer, which is fine. It's a fine restriction as long as they give you more benefit, and they do. They give you a buff that works on stacks that increases speed. This pairs really well with another green limited supporter that we received previously, and that's Spinel. You're gonna become faster, even faster for each buff. And if you have other sources of buffs like tipsy, you're gonna become disgustingly fast. So yeah, that's why I say to keep an eye on supporters, even if they don't look super useful right away. They can get synergies that make them disgusting, or we can get new content that can be broken with those specific options. So, well, that's not all for Francis. Let's see the extra passive. So when you equip Francis on the main, you get this extra passive. When hit, there is a 40% when hit. Oh, okay, that's the thing that balances this thing. There is a 40% chance to reset the skill with the longest with the longest remaining cooldown time. Activates every 3 seconds. So that's pretty balanced. But it might seem very broken. I thought it was broken, but I ignored this part when hit. So basically, this pairs perfectly with Francis because she's gonna get super armor. She's gonna go straight to the enemy. She's gonna receive hits, and that's going to help her abuse her skills. And in turn, she's going to activate them again and get tipsy. And for each stack of tipsy, she gets HP recovery. So basically you're going to just go into berserker mode with this supporter. I am worried that this might get nerfed because in a vacuum this works perfectly with Francis, but the question is how much does it enhance other characters? Because when it enhances the other characters too much, Gremory nerfs these effects. Remember, this is in development. Lately, they have been reducing the percentages and the effects, so keep an eye on that. Don't think that it is too broken because maybe they're gonna change it. Last, the active. The active is actually something that you want to use, unlike most supporters. Like some supporters do have good active, but this one is pretty good. So 45-second cooldowns. First of all, that's already good. The short cooldown is really appealing. And then, continually fires a pistol to deal damage equal to 420% of attack and stun attacks and gain 5 stacks of Tipsy. Okay, one more time. Let's check what Tipsy does. So, we go over here to the buff section and at the very bottom we have Tipsy. Restores 2% of HP. So the question is this going to give you 2% restorations of your max HP? So at 10% of your max HP, that's pretty good actually. If that's the case, maybe it only activates once, which would be odd, but I expect it to be 10%. Then immediately HP immediately and increase attack and defense by 5% for 10 seconds, and this stack up to 5 times. So if you get 5 of these, you're gonna get 25% attack and defense for 10 seconds. That's a really good buff. Remember, only Francis turns this into Intoxicate. For Francis, if you use it on her, you're basically going to get intoxicated, which is nice, considering everything that revolves around this kit. But for other characters, you're getting a heal with 2 buffs at the same time, attack and defense. So, well, it's only one buff with 2 effects. 3 effects technically, but you know what I mean. It is good. It is good. Even if you use this on a different character that wants to go green melee, it is pretty useful to use this active. It is just nice. And consider that it lasts 10 seconds, the buff. So we reduce how much? It will be 35-second cooldown. Well, downtime, technically. Yeah, 35-second downtime, which is pretty fast. You can activate this pretty quickly. And if you have the awakening skills, the one that reduces cooldown, I think it's called leadership. Let me check. If you have this one, yeah, leadership, you're gonna have even less cooldown, like 31%. No, 31 seconds. I mean, 31 seconds. Yeah, something along the lines of that. So pretty useful. I like it. I like it. So the question is Gremory going to nerf this? I think they are, but we'll see about that. You never know with Gremory. Sometimes they don't nerf something you expect them to nerf, and sometimes they nerf things you do not expect them to nerf. So, well, anyways, this new set is pretty good, and it poses the question: should I still roll on this banner, or should I go for the other one, or should I roll for Azusa? So Azusa, Francis, or Eleanor, which is the right option? The depends on your needs, okay? Number one. So, the first thing that you should do is wait and see how the supporter, well, the weapon and supporter for Francis release, because we know that that might change the percentages, okay? Then, do you need more damage dealing options? Do you want to play a lot with Francis? If the answer is yes, probably you should go for that banner. You don't want to play with Francis and you already have a plethora of good damage dealing supporters, well, perhaps you need utility, and for that, Guide of the Starry Sea is an excellent option. As I mentioned previously, Prophet Eleanor is not bad, but it isn't the best damage dealing option. It is usable on VR, and that's about it. It is okay for standard content because it allows you to crit on red, and that's pretty good. And Asusa is probably the best pick from all the limited. Why? Why? Because she is the first piece of a build that is going to revolve around human teams. Unfortunately, we still need the other pieces, which haven't arrived, and probably they will in the future. But most definitely, I think people are gonna want Asusa because that penetration, trust me, it's going to be very useful. Party wide penetration is. If Francis, the character release Francis, which give penetration to what character was pretty good, imagine party wide penetration is even better. And this supporter is not going to repeat, it's not going to rerun. She is only going to be available once again after the renewal of Asusa. And the character hasn't even released, so imagine how much you're gonna have to wait. And it's gonna be available on a pack. It's gonna be paid, guys. The character release supporters do not come back. And you have to rely on luck on the exchange facility or on tickets to actually get this. So consider rolling there, but decide now what you want to do. You have to wait until we see the actual percentages of Francis, and this is going to last enough. This goes on the 2nd of December, on the 25th of November. This goes first. I mean, it's no problem. It's gonna overlap with Francis, but think what you want. Wait for Francis back so that you can see the real values in game once she arrives, and then you roll for whatever you want. That's my recommendation. So, what do you think about the pack, guys? Do you think it fixes Francis? Of course, it fixes Francis, but do you think it's the optimal way to do it? Does it annoy you that they fix Francis with a weapon, or are you okay with it? After all, sometimes like there are characters that only use one specific weapon because it's the best weapon, and it actually doesn't really make that much of a difference. But well, yeah. I'll hear you in the comments. Let me know what you want to roll for. Let me know if you're gonna skip Francis or not, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye.